I could not sit down to my desk and write a word to say today. Though the whole world may be watching and people of influence and power may be watching, I could not write a word. And I said to myself, what is this? I said, well, I'll just go and stand up. And so I'm here today to stand for God and to stand for the prophets and the servants of God and the righteous people of God. "28 years ago this day, 28 years ago at this very time, in the Audubon Ballroom in New York City, before an audience of approximately 400 people, Malcolm X was shot to death. A trial was had, and 3 people were sentenced to 26 years to life imprisonment. Only one of those persons admitted that he was in fact one of those who assassinated Malcolm X. But on the witness stand, he exonerated 2 other brothers who were falsely charged and sentenced and have served 26 years to life imprisonment for a crime that they did not commit. When Malcolm X was assassinated 28 years ago today, 2 men were apprehended in the Audubon Ballroom. And the early news that hit 11 New York newspapers said 2 men had been taken. But by the next day, there was only talk of one. Who was the other one? What happened to him? Whatever you think of Malcolm, he deserved protection. His life was under threat. There were no uniformed policemen in the hall that day, even though Malcolm's life was threatened. A week prior, his home had been firebombed with his children and his wife in it. Uniformed police only showed up after the fact. Malcolm X was a student of this great man, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And as a student of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, every meeting that we attended, and I was blessed to attend many with Malcolm X, everybody was searched as you were today upon entering, so that no weapon that could do harm to the speaker or to anyone in the audience would be present. And therefore, for nearly 63 years, we have had peaceful meetings because we refuse to permit so much as a penknife in the audience, because we are a people of peace whose desire is to promote peace first among our people who have been robbed of peace, and then to the rest of the human family. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. What happened 28 years ago this very day that caused Malcolm to abandon the very principle of searching that protected his life under the most difficult circumstances? That day, Malcolm abandoned some of that principle of his teacher, and death walked in the Audubon ballroom. What did the government know about this? What did the police know about this? Is it true that Elijah Muhammad ordered the death of Malcolm X? Am I the student of a man envious and jealous of his own student, that he would become so enraged and upset over his student's rise to prominence, which he, the teacher, orchestrated? Am I the student of a depraved teacher who would kill his own student? Am I the student of an immoral man who wanted to just in his older years have sex with young women? Am I the student of a morally depraved human being? And am I the brother of a man who Elijah Muhammad raised, who is wiser than his teacher, greater than his teacher? Am I the student and the brother, student of such teacher, the brother of such man as Malcolm X? And Malcolm is wiser than Elijah, greater than Elijah? And if it were not for Malcolm, there would be no Elijah and no nation of Islam. How do you account for the nation coming back from death today? How do you account for? How do you account for the rise of Louis Farrakhan? How do you account for the majesty of that which comes from my lips that has sparked attention all over the world, where tens of thousands of people come out of their homes and stand in line in rain and snow and sleet to hear a student of that man, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad? Because people come by the thousands to hear me? Am I greater than my teacher? Am I wiser than my mentor? If in his name I have spoken to you and awakened you from mental death and ignorance, causing you to clean up your lives according to the law that he taught us, am I now greater than the man who nursed me from nothing? I'm speaking to more people today than Malcolm ever spoke to. Wait.